If you're listening to this podcast, there's a good chance that you're a hunter or you just enjoy the great outdoors. Now's the time to step up. There have been countless efforts to vilify hunters, denounce the legitimacy of the science-based wildlife management model. There's no science to this stance, and it is solely emotionally charged. We don't want to see what happened with the grizzly hunt replay itself again with the remaining large carnivores and big game species. It's a slippery slope, folks. We need to stand together. Now is the time for hunters to be united across all organizations and show our combined support. Please go to wildsheepsociety.com/act now and follow the steps. It doesn't take much time and it will help save the future of hunting. This applies to residents and non-residents alike. Please, let's use our voice and be heard. On with the show, folks. This is episode 35 of the Wilderness Locals podcast. On this episode, our guests are Luke Caudillo from Gladiators Unleashed and Jeff Lander from Primitive Outfitting. This podcast is definitely not family friendly, so maybe if you have your kids in the car, play it another time. This podcast is brought to you by Kafaru International, the toughest hunting gear on the planet, bar none. Frontiersman gear, high quality, completely custom, handmade knives made in the heart of the Peace Country. And as always, we're brought to you by Just Shooting Arrows, BC's premier archery shop.
Yeah, we definitely can bullshit. That's for damn sure. I'm definitely a good bullshitter. I'm more of a bullshitter than a killer, I think. You know, so we'll go there. I'm like opposite of my friends.
You do just fine, Luke.
Yeah,
no, I do all right. And tomorrow, if this weekend, if I don't kill a turkey. Well, put it this way. I'm going to hunt hard on Saturday. And I think we're only going to hunt in the afternoon on Saturday with my bow. And here comes Sunday morning. I already bought them. I'm going to buy, I got a 12 gauge shotgun shells. So I'm going to kill something. I promise you that. So I told Nestor. Nestor's like, man, just leave that bow at home. Let's go shoot one anyways. And I was like, man, I really want to go shoot one with my bow. At least attempt. You know what I mean? If I get a chance,
yeah, I
want to shoot one with my bow. But oh well. I mean, like I said, I still got Nebraska tag to fill, and you know, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try with my bow. If not, he's gonna get it with my shotty.
Yeah,
that's good.
Nice. Right on. How'd you get started hunting, Luke? I don't know if I've ever heard that story.
Yeah. So I grew up in the state of Nebraska. It's not a province, you know, like Canada. It's a state. We got states here in the United States. But yeah, it's a little farm town, you know, and I grew up there, railroad town, and you know, brothers and I and cousins, uncles, dad always took us out, and out of everybody, I'm the one that just really fell in love with it. You know, out of all my siblings, I have no problem getting my older brother to go with me when I come back into town. I think he likes hunting, but I think he just more likes just hanging out with me. You know what I mean? And bullshitting in the blind and you know, whatever we're doing, whatever we're hunting. And so he comes out with me still, and I love hunting with him. But yeah, I mean, I'm the one that kind of grew. I mean, fuck, man, I literally love hunting. And I don't care what we're hunting. If it's, you know, waterfowl, I did a lot of waterfowl hunting in Nebraska, upland game, pheasant hunting. I had a lot of bird dogs. I had a German short hair growing up in high school. You know, we had labs. And I love that, you know, and that's one thing that I miss out of anything back home is, you know, my dogs. That, you know, I can just go out. I mean, you got to realize, like, my town was so small, like I could be in my honey spot. I could leave school and be in my honey spot, you know, 15 minutes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was what I loved about it. You know, I could be in my tree stand. I can leave school. You know, I can miss football practice, wrestling practice, and I would just go hunt, and it'd be 15 minutes. You know, it's just so much different nowadays where I live. And, but yeah, so I just started as a young kid, you know, hunting but I didn't start archery hunting until like 2000, I would say 2011, maybe.
Nice.
You know, so I always wanted to do it, you know, but I always archery hunt in my backyard with my blow dart gun with rabbits and stuff. You know what I mean? But I never did it with the real bow, and I always wanted to. And I bought my first bow at a garage sale. It was a bear bow, and I did it, and I was shooting carp with it at the lake, at the river and stuff. And that's what I did with that bow.
Rad.
But
yeah, carp shooting's fun, man. Shooting carp.
Oh, it's so much fun, you know. In fact, I'm getting a recurve. I got a recurve that I'm gonna set up and shoot this summer with it. I'm excited for that. You know, I actually got invited to go shoot some gator gar down in Texas.
Oh, wicked!
And I really might go do that because that looks like a blast. He was showing me pictures, and holy shit, man, those things get huge, man.
They're freaky looking, man.
Yeah, they're like dinosaurs.
Yeah,
seriously, like dinosaurs. But I don't know. They said that I got to go jump in with them, and I'm not about that.
Yeah, no, forget that. That's not for me either.
No, I ain't jumping in that water with them.
That's wild. When did you? So, how did you land in Colorado? I know you had a.
You had a cheerleading scholarship, didn't you, at Boulder?
Is it ring girl?
Yeah, I had later. That's another foul tip there, bud.
Yeah, I know.
No, I was a fighter, and where like I said, it was a small town, and I would leave to go fight in all these like bigger cities and bigger organizations. And, I was doing really good. And then finally I came out to Colorado and fought probably, 3 or 4 times. And, a management agency hit me up and they're like, hey man, you're beating some of the best guys here in Colorado. What's your goal? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, I want to be in the UFC, and they're like, well, we can make that happen, but you need to make a move out here and train full time, blah, blah, blah. Well, at the same time, I was talking to someone at the same time, this hot chick, she was blonde, big old boobies and everything. And she happened to live out here in Colorado. So I was like, well, fighting this girl. And yep, I moved out here. And I ended up marrying her and I ended up getting the UFC. I mean, that's pretty much it. I literally moved away from home and followed my dream. And it wasn't easy though. Don't get me wrong. I literally, slept underneath the boxing ring for a few months, had to borrow money from my brothers, this and that. But yeah, and then I finally, like I said, I was talking to my wife now, that was my girlfriend at the time, and we finally moved in together, and she's been my sugar mama ever since.
We should just end the podcast there, find a girl with big boobs and follow her to Colorado. Done.
Hey, if you get one, to do it, dog. I'm telling you guys.
So Luke, I got a question for you. How if you were in a small town, Nebraska, how did you get into fighting in a town that's super small in the Corn Belt? Well,
yeah, so there's a lot of rednecks around me, and I'm a Mexican, so I was, there was a lot of people saying, "Hey, go in the bean field, go do this, go clean my house." A lot of mama jokes that probably didn't really fly too well with me, and it was honestly tough because I was literally, I think there was maybe, now when I go back home, I'm like, oh shit, there's black people everywhere in here. You know what I mean? It was so different, when I grew up there,
Mm-hmm.
And now, when I grew up, shoot, I was the only Mexican. I bet there was probably 3 kids in my grade school through kindergarten through 6th grade that were Mexican. No black people, none. right? And then in high school, one of my best friends was the black guy. And like, honestly, there was a handful of minorities. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy. So, you know, did I fight a lot in high school? Yes. Did I fight a lot in grade school? Hell yeah. And did I get suspended a lot? Yep. Mm-hmm. And I was honestly on the road to jail, probably. You know what I mean? Like, I literally had, I mean, I was a good kid. Don't get me wrong. I played sports. My mom and dad were both in my life. They looked after me. They were great parents, but it seemed like trouble always found me. You know what I mean? Like, it seemed like maybe I just didn't take no shit. You know what I mean? And that honestly was why I started doing it. You know, I wrestled in high school, and I had some scholarships to go wrestle, go play football. And I was like, man, you know, I hate school, you know, let's keep it real. I hated the school. And so I went to school for welding. I was going to become a welder, and I did that. And, man, I just miss competing. I miss action. You know, I miss being, competitive. And next thing I know, this guy comes up to me in my hometown. He goes, "Hey, you used to wrestle, right?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Why don't you come in and show these guys a few things, right? Some wrestling moves." And at the time, I was working out a lot. Like, I was trying to get in bodybuilding. I was just trying to do anything to keep motivated, right? Because I was falling off the fucking deep end, you know, partying, getting in trouble, this and that. And fuck, man, that was like my savior of going back on wrestling mats. Well, when I went in there, I'm a jacked, like probably 210, like literally I was literally a ripped, big yoke dude. When I get on the wrestling mat, I would get on me with these guys, and these guys would want to be like 160 pounds, 170. Well, I would take them down, and they would fucking choke me in a matter of seconds. I was like, wait, that's my arm. I need it. Right? Like, they were doing jiu-jitsu on me. And I was like, what the fuck is this shit, dude? I need to know this stuff. What good is it to have all these muscles if I can't, you know, fight anything off? And that's what kind of got me really hooked. And 6 months later, I took my first fight from that guy. Yeah. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, that's honestly, in a nutshell, is like, I was literally fighting a lot in high school, and I needed to make a choice. Thank God. Like, fighting saved me, honestly. I mean, I would never be in the situation where I'm at right now. Like, you know, the people that I know now, like, let's say Snyder, it all has led me to, you know, to awesome people. Like, fighting has literally been the best thing that's ever happened to me, honestly.
Because I've never heard, you know, I never really gotten your story when you're up there, but I figured there had to be somebody besides, you know, our parents are, you know, for most people are our heroes, right? But there's always somebody who steps in at the right time when there's a split in the road of either going to prison or making some money. That's interesting. I never heard that. That's cool. I figured that. Yeah. I just never heard it.
You know what's crazy is, like, you know, you always hear like some of these fighters that, you know, had a rough grown up kid, you know, like single parent mom, or, you know, no dad, no father figure in their life. I had all that. Like, my dad did everything great for me, gave me new pairs of shoes for every sport I needed. You know what I mean? Like, I got that treatment, but it was just, man, maybe I was just had a chip on my shoulder. I don't know. I literally loved compete. I loved fighting. I really did. And when I got good at it and really learned how to really fight, when I started picking it up, I didn't want to go looking for fights anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that was the thing that was different, is like, okay, if I go in a bar and if I can't whoop everybody's ass in here, I shouldn't be a professional. You know what I mean? Like, if I can't beat the average Joe's ass, then I shouldn't be fighting for money.
Well, that's
right?
the discipline of what you're doing, right?
Yeah, and that is what it is. I mean, that's honestly the difference of being a mixed martial artist or, you know, a prize fighter, is knowing, okay, guys, when am I gonna, take this shit serious and be a professional?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense.
And it's usually, now that I'm older and wiser about this whole fight game, it's the quiet guys you got to watch out for. You know what I mean? It's not the peacock one. It's the quiet guy that you got to watch out for. Yeah. And except for Frank's situation.
Frank's not quiet. Frank likes to be beat.
Yeah,
by you.
He does, man. He is a little shit ass to me.
Yes. He pushes you. That's for sure. Yeah, it's amazing.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if he's stupid or smart, but he's
both. He's both. He's the smartest dumb guy I know.
True.
Nice. Did you? You probably didn't have much time to be doing hunting while you were getting your fighting skills dialed in and then getting into the UFC, eh?
Yeah, you know what? That was a part of my life where and it's funny you say that because yeah, I didn't have a lot of time to do any kind of hunting. I was so focused on my career, how am I going to pay rent? How am I going to do this? You know what I mean? Because let's keep it real. Like, nowadays, you fight one time a year. If you're like, let's say like one of my fighters, like let's say Gaethje, he fights one time a year. He's set for 2 years. You know what I mean? Like he's set for a while. Me back then, I was, as soon as I got paid, I was already looking for the next fight because I needed to make next month rent,
Yeah.
So I was always staying busy doing whatever, fighting a lot. It's just such a 9-day difference now of how far the sport has come and like the pay scale and everything since when I did it, I mean, you got to realize I retired in 2014 and I started coaching. And then around 2017, I retired at 2015 and 2017 is when I started noticing like the bump in pay. And I was like, maybe I need to come out of retirement and start fighting again, and like now I'm like, shit, dude. I should definitely come back and come out of retirement because I've taken worse ass whoopings for less money,
Yeah, it was crazy back in the day. It was crazy back in the day watching the fights and then seeing the pay, what guys were getting paid online after the fact. It was like, that's a tough life, man.
Well, put it this way, dude. I fought a tournament. And I fought 3 times in one night for $1,000.
Oof.
Yeah, I did. And you realize like how much my medical bills was after this whole tournament was done? Yeah, it's just dumb. My first fight in Okoboji, Iowa, back in 99, might have been early 2000. I literally paid $140 to go get a black eye and shit. you know what I mean? Like I drove 9 hours away, put all this expense down. I literally paid him $140 to get in the ring.
Oh,
it's crazy, right? Yeah.
And now Ben Askren collects 7 figures for getting punched up by a YouTuber.
Yeah. And I ain't mad at him. You know what I mean? Like, dude, I am not mad at him.
I'd take the money and run. I would have tripped on my shoelace getting into the ring.
Well, that's what I was just saying. Like, I literally come out of retirement because just like he did, because I've gotten my ass whooped for a lot less. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
That's wild. So when did you reconnect back with hunting?
I was still in the fight. I mean, I've always been in the fight game. And one of my buddies, he's a police officer here in Colorado, and his dad is a big outdoorsman. And every time I'd meet him, we would just BS about hunting, blah, blah, blah. And he finally invited me out to his house up in the mountains. And I went out to his house, and he has antlers everywhere, right? He made those lamps out of elk sheds and, moose sheds. I mean, I was like, damn, Rich, you're like really into this. And he had like, like Lander back there with, the big whitetails in the back and everything. And I was like, holy cow, dude, you are a hunter. And he goes, yeah, man. And he had like 3 or 4 elk in his spot. And I was like, dude, this is what I want to do. I can't wait to do this one day. And this was probably, I want to say in June or July. And he was like, well, Louis, if you want to go with me this year, you can. And I was like, really? He goes, yeah. Well, this was the time where you guys got to realize, like, I kept my Nebraska residency because I didn't want to pay the out of state for deer hunting in Nebraska. Yeah. Which was $200, right? Mm-hmm. And that was a lot of money at the time. Well, for an out of state residency in Colorado, you had to pay like $600, $500 for an elk tag, right? Yeah. And I was like, man, what do I do? Do I change my residency in Colorado and get a $50 elk tag and pay a $200, out of state deer tag? And I said, screw it, man. If I'm going to live here, I'm going to be a residency and I'm going to go elk hunting. Yeah. Well, I did it. They gave me my license because I had to prove, I was a residency for so long. And finally they gave it to me. And I went out with Rich and I just wanted to go with him. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even want to hunt. And he goes, what are you doing? Cause I pretty much just brought my GoPro and just wanted to come out and watch and see what he did. He goes, you're hunting, you're shooting, get your bow and, let's go get you an elk. And I shit you not, dude. We got in the elk and I shit you not. I literally started just shaking oh my God, dude, this is the coolest fucking thing ever. I was hooked. From that point on, I have never been, I was like a kid. Put it this way. I was like a kid at a strip joint for the first time. You know what I mean? Like, I was on cloud 9, dude. I was in love with everything at the time. And so we hunted for 3 days. On the 4th day, I told him, I said, hey, Rich, if you give me a shot, I'll take a nice warm load in the mouth from you. Right. And he goes, I got you, buddy. This guy's a Marine. So he's a dirty fucker too. Right. Like he's funny as shit. So, we had fun and we get in this meadow finally. And he's like, go sit up over there. I'll sit back here and I'll call. You won't be able to see me. So just be ready. They're going to come. He's going to come out. I don't know how big he is because we heard him chuckling in the dark timber. He goes, hopefully he'll come out. Dude, I'm over here with my rangefinder trying to range different things, where he would come out, and Rich just starts fucking ripping bugles and cow calling, just fucking whatever. And I shit you not, I look up at this little area and this bull sticking his head out. And he was he was just a 5x5, right? Yeah. But to me, it looked like King Kong. You know what I mean? Like, holy shit, dude, he's coming out. I didn't want to move. I had my rangefinder in my hand and I was like, I can't move because for some reason, he locked right on me, right? And I was like, oh, damn. I knew I should have brushed my teeth, right? so I was like, oh, shit. So, and then finally he started calling and the bull started circling around. He was trying to get my wind now that I know what the hell he's doing now. Yeah. So he was kind of circling around and he put his head down, started eating some grass. And that's when I got ready. I literally didn't even have an arrow knocked, right? Oh, no. And I hurry up and knocked an arrow and I knew he was 45 yards, when I range find him. And he fired a bugle and then the bull just freaking ripped one out again and bam, I smoked him, right? I hit him and I was like, holy shit. And Rich was watching the whole thing, right? And he goes, and to me, I knew I hit him a little back, right? And I came up to Rich. Rich came up to me, and like, we're giving the fucking no homo but hugs and everything, and everything, high fives and shit like that. And I said, "Fuck, Rich, I think I hit him a little back." He goes, "Yeah, you want to know why?" And I said, "Why?" He goes, "Because you heard my zipper come down." He's like, "Fuck, that's right, dude. My bad." But yeah, so that was my first time ever going out ever in Colorado, and my first time elk hunting, and I will never forget that whole experience. And I'm just grateful that he took me out. I mean, he didn't have to take me out at all. You know what I mean? Like, he could, and this is a guy that shot, 400 class bulls now. I mean, at the time, I didn't know what the hell the difference between a 300 class bull or a raghorn to a 400 class bull. I just knew that they were big antlers, Yeah. And, now that I, been around it for a little bit, I realized, like, now I know why he calls in bulls after bulls every year, and he gets opportunities. He put down his archery equipment and started doing muzzle loading now, though. So he's even more successful now than ever, So Rich, that's the guy that I owe a lot to, because man, he kind of broke me in the Colorado hunting.
That's awesome, man. It's like you were saying, the first time you ever hear bulls cracking off like that, it's just like, that's a life changer. Hearing elk do their thing, and like, what? Like,
100%.
It's mind blowing, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, I don't like to sound like, like every other thing that, all the guys that talk about it, but it is very magical.
Yeah.
When you're out there. And I mean, to this day, I mean, if, like last year when Snyder came out, now that I got this private piece of land that I can hunt from my house now, and I took Snyder out there with me to call in, he was like, "Holy shit, dude, this place is like elk heaven." I said, "Yeah, shut your mouth. Don't tell nobody." Right. Yeah. Right. But, but it's literally private. So, I'm literally hit the jackpot on this area. And, that now that, Snyder's there, and like, what I was saying is, when you get in that little frenzy and you get bulls, firing back from you to the other bulls and chuckling, dude, it's something that's so freaking awesome that, like, if you don't kill one, you're still just like, it was the best day ever, the best morning ever. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's where it's at. To me, I love it. And now that I can film it, like, and I can show my wife and my daughter now, it's just like, holy cow, this is crazy. Like, they get it now why I like it. You know what I mean? They get that, and that's kind of why I started, Gladiators Unleashed, because I wanted to film my hunts and show my brothers, show the people back home, like, dude, look at this. This shit's out here. You guys got to leave hometown, leave the little farm town, and get out, explore the fucking world. You know what I mean? Like, this shit's out here, man. And that's why I started filming hunts. That's what I wanted to show my people back home. There's more to life, you know what I mean, than sitting at home, sitting at the bar, go to the routine, go to the supermarket, sit at the same bar stool every day, do the same job over and over. There's so much more into life, and my passion is obviously hunting. I love hunting, and that's what I wanted to share to people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For sure. Yeah, you do.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, now it's just like, now I could talk about it. Like, I never thought I would like be big into podcasting, but it's so much easier to talk about it than try to film a kill, edit a kill, and do all this and that. Like, now that I have a podcast, dude, that shit is so much easier to talk about it than fucking putting it all on film. and doing all that, it's so much easier. I got to say, and it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah. The funny thing about podcasting too is like a lot of these conversations are the same thing we would do anyways on the phone while you're driving, like
100%.
My podcast is just like I would call Andrew up and shoot the shit with him for an hour. Like that's normal.
Yeah.
And now we just recorded and other people hear it. It's wicked. So fun.
So like when you guys talk to each other, how many like in, let's say like a 30-minute conversation, how many times do you guys say like, hey, how many A's do you get out of each other?
This is
Ladies,
actually,
you say now?
This is actually an immigration meeting. We're recruiting you.
Are you? Hey, I'm in it. Hey, you know what I mean?
I don't think you want to.
I'm American, Luke. So I use. I combine the American with the Canadian A. So I'll say hey with H.
Nice. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's so funny? I get people coming in. Well, not lately, because there ain't nobody coming from Canada over here. No. But like when like in the gym, like I get these fighters that would come from Toronto and this and that, and I'd be like, dude, where's this accent? And then I hear an A. I'd be like, hey, Canada, they're from Canada. I do it, dude. And I love it. You know what I mean? I love accents. I don't care if it's a Texan accent, a deep South accent, an Alabama accent, or, England accents. I love accent. I just love it, man.
Yeah, it's cool.
So I gotta bust your balls a little bit.
And you've got the MMA accent.
Yeah, that's the punchy accent.
The deviated.
We don't call it the MMA accent. We call it you should have dodged instead of, stood right there, should have bobbed and weaved.
Luke, I had to go for a COVID test last week and she jams that thing in my nose and she goes, ooh, you broken your nose a lot? I'm like, yeah, I played hockey and lacrosse.
Okay. Yeah. So you played hockey. I'll tell you, when I was in, we went to Dubai or, Saudi, or it was Dubai for the fight in Fight Island when Justin fought out there.
Yeah.
We literally I had to take 14 COVID tests. 14.
Savage.
And literally so they can do the nose swab now, right? They did that one and they did the mouth swab. Right.
Yeah.
And honestly, I almost think that the nose one was a lot easier because they jam that shit back in your throat.
Yeah.
You're going to be gagging.
It's like when you shot your first elk.
Yeah. Right. You know that. And easy. But yeah, so literally I almost you're a strike one. But honestly, I always preferred the nose after the seventh time. I was like, dude, just give it to me in the nose. I'll just sneeze, and if I got COVID, now you got it because I'm gonna sneeze all over. You know what I mean? It was crazy, And but yeah, it's just now the COVID test is just so normal to me now, and it's just I'm like, yeah, stick it up there.
So Luke, I had my first COVID test 2 days ago. That was a requirement.
Oh, really? Your first one?
First one. And it didn't go the best video ever is when the lady in Dubai was putting it right about to here on you. I never laughed so hard in my life. I enjoyed that immensely. But I was telling this gal the other day about you. I said, this friend of mine, he trains UFC fighter Gaethje, and they were at Fight Island, and how your test was going. It goes, we don't go as far, but I had to do it today. Part of the deal now coming into I had to do a self-test online today with a nurse where she watches you do it. You do this and you do this. And I got and Pearl later comes and gets it. And I got to do another one on day 8. It's so stupid.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought of you.
So,
dude.
Yeah, no. So you're on a Zoom call just like this, right? And so before we even get on the plane to Las Vegas to quarantine there to get on the plane to Dubai. Right? We got to pre-test before we pre-test on the plane, right? So we got to make sure that we don't have it, right? Well, so all the coaches are in one room, right? And the ladies like going down the line, like telling us, and this was our first time, like, so we really didn't know what the hell we were doing. So I went up there and she was like, "Oh, go deeper." And I'm like, "That's what she said." So, cause I go a little deeper and I guess she was like, "Okay, that's good. Throw it in the Ziploc, the bag, and, put your name on it, whatever." Well, the wrestling coach, Ben, he literally was like, going up there and he was all like, and she was like, "Oh, honey, you got to go deeper than that, right?" So he's like, "I'm pretty deep." And he's up there swirling. And the next thing I look at him, he's gushing with blood. Blood is coming all over. And we're like, "God dang, man, how deep did you go?" She goes, "Oh, honey." She goes, "Oh, honey, you went way too deep." And he goes, "That's what she said." Yeah. But yeah, it's so crazy. Like, and then you got to go deep because if you don't get enough of the sample, it doesn't qualify, so you can't get on the plane. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. If they don't got enough sample, so you want to go up there and and knock your brain around. It's crazy. Like I'm ready for it just to be done with, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I'm just so done with it. We're in a place right now where, the whole vaccine shots and everything. And my wife's in healthcare, right? Like, so she got the shot. She did this and that and blah, blah. And my mom and dad had both got the shots and some of my siblings have gotten it. But, me, I'm not ready to get the shot yet. You know what I mean? Like, I feel bad. I'm like, man, there's no fucking way they know what the hell they're putting in your fucking body.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I literally was like, I begged my wife. I was like, "Babe, I don't think you should get it yet." You know what I mean? And she was like, "Well, it's pretty much like I'm around it all day, which she is, Mm-hmm. And I'm like, "You haven't got COVID yet. You know what I mean? You've been around it, and if you do, you can fight it. I mean, like, you're going to put something in your system to give you it. You know what I mean?" Yeah. But anyways, like, she got it, whatever. Knock on wood, she's good. Nothing's happened. None of that, my mom and dad. But like, I'm at this point where, look, motherfucker, somebody's going to have to stick around and kill zombies. You know what I mean? and that might be me. You know what I mean? Like,
I'll be right with you.
So, I just don't feel, I'm not comfortable enough to take the shot yet. And, that's just, that's just me entitled to it. You know what I mean? Like, now they're like, for traveling and this and that. And I do a lot of traveling for fighting, I hope to God they don't have to, we don't have to have a vaccine passport, because that's going to cut a lot of my income. You know what I mean? Like, I won't be able to go travel with my fighters if I don't have a fucking vaccine shot. Well, guess what, man? I'm not going to get the vaccine anytime soon. So either you go, find another coach, another trainer, somebody that has it, because I'm not getting it. And that's just kind of what I told everybody. And a lot of the fighters aren't even getting it. You know what I mean? And I think Dana White, he's kind of on the same deal. Obviously, he's going to Florida, put on fights, and he's like, "Hey, if you don't want to wear a mask, don't wear a mask. You want to wear a mask, wear a mask, right? Mm-hmm. You want to get the shot. Just don't put that shit on me." You know what I mean? Yeah. You have the right, just like I have the right. And I think the whole thing would be a lot smoother transition if that's how people kind of took it as. You know what I mean? If you want to wear the mask, wear the mask. If you don't, you don't, right? And if you're that goddamn scared of it, right, and worried about it, keep your ass at home. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, that's to me, to me, that's just, I don't know. It's just, and I don't talk like a bunch of politics, but I'm just like, fuck, man, enough's enough. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like everything is drowning, closing down businesses and this and that. And I'm like, dude, enough's enough. Like my gym got shut down for 4 months. And dude, I'm telling you what, it was a hard time, dude. It was definitely a hard time. And I don't know. I'm just over it, guys. I don't know.
No doubt.
I'm sure you guys are over it too.
Way. I'm not doing it either. Both Land and I won't get the shot. And I think a lot of my hunters, like now I'm even writing it into my contract, guys. Like today, a guy booked a moose hunt for 23. He says, I'm not going to take the shot if Canada demands that you have the shot to come in. What will you do? And I said, well, I'll agree with you that you get your deposit back, because I agree. I'm not going to do it either.
Honestly, that says a lot about you, honestly, as a person and an outfitter, because I mean, let's put it this way. Like, once again, that's screwing the fucking business, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you're going to tell me this is your livelihood. Your deposit's down. And now they're going to say, hey, maybe I got to get this shot to come in. And if I don't get it, I'm going to lose my deposit. 9 times out of 10, I guarantee you most outfitters are going to say, yeah, you're going to lose your deposit. For you saying that, damn, that says a lot about you, Lander. All right, you're back to strike one. I'll fucking
Lander, where are you guys at with I think so Spring Bear, you're pretty well shot till like May 25th now in BC, right?
So I've moved all my 2000 this year's guys to next year. Yeah. I'm worried about the fall actually at this point. Yeah. Canada's going backwards compared to what everyone else is going stateside and whatever. And I don't know, man, there's a lot of people going under, and they're bringing Canadians in, and that's fine. I won't bring anyone in from BC with me, only because I've had issues before with guys hunting my area after, all of a sudden you see them there. I've had that happen in Alberta with guys who've actually worked for me, and they got other guys out there. So, unfortunately I'm able to kind of have that and not have to do it, necessarily. Right. But there's, it's funny. Some friends of mine were guiding desert rams down in Mexico, and they just went in and got a what do you call it? The COVID shot certificate. Not necessarily that they got, the test. So you can always get your passport down south of the border. I'm not encouraging that. Well, that's the thing, Mexico's where it's at. It's always been where it's at. And that's the thing is, so like a lot of my buddies that have literally went down there and got a little place in Mexico training full time, and literally they say it doesn't exist down there, dude. Mm-hmm. Like COVID does not exist down there. You know what I mean? Like it's weird. Like I'm like, yeah, right. They're like, no, man. Here's a lot of it, because nobody fucking watches the news.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody watches the news. Nobody fucking.
You see the stuff going on. They just
go on with their daily shit.
Yeah. You see the stuff going on in India though. That's like the extreme opposite case. Like massive population density there, right?
Yeah, and that is it. I'm not saying it's not real, right? COVID's not real. I mean, obviously it's real, right? But I'm just saying, like in India, what happens is they don't have enough technology. Like the flu. Like a flu can be very bad. Yeah. But if you don't have enough Pedialyte in them, or just the regular remedies to get yourself better, you're not going to get better, right? Yeah. You won't. Yeah. I mean that's pretty much where it's at right there. Yeah, totally. Their country's poor. They don't have enough I don't know. I just don't want to get into
I heard it's oxygen. Yeah. My brother works for the United Nations, and he travels all over, and he was saying that it's the oxygen to, for these people who are getting congested in India, and it's just massive amount of people. Now, I'll never be to a place like that. No desire. No. As an American, I can go across the border whenever I want. I can come back to Canada, and I have really no desire to go anywhere else. So, but it's funny how political it's getting, and how people get angry if you say you're not getting shot. Yeah, it's like my half my family thinks I'm crazy. I'm like, well, I don't know. I've been traveling more during COVID than I have probably any other time, mostly with my folks. I even had the antibody test the other day to see if I've had it. I figured I probably had it, but I hadn't. But I don't know what's going to happen. It's power. It's power grab, and it's bad.
It's crazy how they're handling it here in Canada. Like,
it's brutal.
In Canada, Luke, like BC just got a province-wide lockdown. So they've broken the province into like zones. So I'm in call it zone 1, and Lander's in zone 3. So he technically can't travel up to zone 2. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like some straight up George Orwell shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's how it was when it first, like a year ago today, like almost a year, about a month ago. We were actually talking about it. Like, it popped up on my Facebook, like those time hops, those memories,
Yeah.
It, we literally could not, they had, curfews for us, telling us this and that. And I was like, dude, we're going camping. If they want social distancing, we're going camping. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I said, load up, let's go. And literally, the people, the Rangers came up to us and they're like, what are you guys doing? We're like, we're social distancing. That's what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like, if you guys want everybody to be away and we can't do nothing, we're social distancing. I'm here camping. I got my sticker. I'm good. You can, we're good. Unless you're closing down the park. Are you guys closing down the park? They're like, no. And I was like, okay, well, we're good, right? Like, I'm telling you, man, it's just so weird because that's how it was. Like, even here a year ago, we could not. I mean, there were certain times where there was sheriffs, in the road that we go, like, where are you gonna go? Like going to the grocery store. You know what I mean? We got a grocery pickup. It's crazy, dude. Like on how we were for a year ago, and it sounds like you guys are there now. I don't know.
Yeah, we're still there, man. It's like it's not safe for us to go camping, but we can all pile into the Walmart.
So Tyler, did you hear, Tyler, that they're? I heard the other day that they've threatened $500 fines if you're caught hunting or fishing.
Yeah. It's written right into the regulation that there's a fine now. It's not if you're caught hunting and fishing. It's if you're caught hunting and fishing outside of your home zone, right? So like the people that live in the city that want to go hunt anywhere, they're screwed.
Yeah, they're screwed.
Right.
But they can go into a super center, get their groceries, do this and that. And be okay with it. I just, and that was my big deal. Like, why, everything was essential, right? Like only essential workers, essential businesses stay open, right? Well, why is a liquor store open? Yeah. You know what I mean? And my gym has to close down. You know what I mean? Like what's the guidelines of what's essential and what's not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that was what pissed me off. Don't get me wrong. I was thankful that the liquor store was open, but but goddamn, you know what I mean?
Let's move on from the COVID thing a little bit because we could go all night on it. I think it's
all night long.
I honestly have come to the point with it where I think it almost doesn't matter what side of like the political spectrum you're on. It's at the point where it's just obnoxious to everyone.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep, 100%.
We all agree here, so we'll just all agree with each other all night. So, moving on from your first elk hunt in Colorado, Luke, how did you how did you kind of progress from there? And you obviously ended up in our neck of the woods hunting with Lander.
Yeah. So I got in with the right people. I guess the right people, the right time. Obviously I got in buddies with Aaron Snyder, and I don't know. He's kind of a big deal in the outdoor industry. You know what I mean? Which at the time, I did not know who the fuck this guy was. Right? Me and him were gonna beat each other up. Right? Like we literally were gonna. He was on strike 3. Period. And yeah. So he was at the archery shop when I was at the archery shop, and I just got my first bow, and looking back at the time, what I was doing and shooting 3D targets, like, yeah, I would have kicked my own ass now if I would have seen myself back then. So I get why he was making fun of me, right? I get it. But yeah, man, like I just got in with the right people, and it was just by a freak accident. Like, and I wouldn't change anything because I didn't know. It's not like, I didn't, obviously he's tried Jesus, right? Like now. But at the time, I didn't know who he was, and he really didn't know who I was. And we would just have conversation like we're having that night. You know what I mean? Like, he had no idea who he was. He had no idea who I was. He said something to me, I would say some smart ass to him, which probably most guys probably wouldn't say that to him, right? Like, they're intimidated by him. Now that I'm, I see him now and how people react to him now, and how people want to just, talk to him or whatever. And I'm so glad that I didn't get caught up with it and like really know who he was, I mean, but at the time, like the only outdoor people I really knew was like Jim Shockey, the guys that I saw on TV, you know what I mean? Like they were the guys that I knew in the outdoor industry, and I didn't know them. I just knew who they were. Yeah. And I didn't watch them a lot. I just knew them, but I didn't know we had a local celebrity, that I was shooting next to all the time, and right down the road. So I would say Aaron Snyder is the one that, literally made me who I am in the outdoor industry, pretty much. I mean, for him helping my show out, Gladiators Unleashed, helping me out shooting on the range with him, obviously being on my podcast, me being on CafaroCast, it's all him. You know what I mean? Like nobody would give two shits about me if they didn't know me from being on CafaroCast or Aaron Snyder being on my podcast, period. You know what I mean? Like, let's keep it real. Your name's Tyler, right?
Yeah.
Tyler, how did you hear about me?
I'm an MMA fan though. So,
okay.
I knew who you were from fighting. That being said, I don't know if I probably just stumbled into you through somebody that I follow saw you shooting your bow, right?
Yeah, probably my Pope and Youngs and shit, all my big shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, you teaching Lander all the guiding stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm a big guide now. I got offers coming out. But yeah, I honestly, all bullshit aside, I literally owe everything that I have now in the outdoor industry. I would say 85% of it, I owe a lot of it to Aaron Snyder. He's opened doors. He's introduced me to people. He's talked about me. He's introduced me to guys like Lander, for one. You know what I mean? Like that, let alone not even companies that I work with now. It's because of him. Or, they're like, oh, that's Luke. That's Aaron's buddy. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. I'm going to take every fucking bit of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's cool because I had no idea like who the fuck this guy was at the time. And I'm glad because that's just the way me and him get along. Like, Lander, Justin, Aaron, he does not drink at all, right? He doesn't drink at all. You. Yeah, and then he comes with me and he's like, I'll drink with you, buddy. And I'm like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Like it's just, I feel like me and him have like became really close, and we and him are we can just tell each other some shit that we know. You ain't got to worry about me saying shit or talking shit behind his back. We know we got this bond where we get each other. You know what I mean? And like I said, he is the reason where I'm at in the. If you want to quote unquote call it outdoor industry, I'm thankful for him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I also think the outdoor industry needs something like me in it.
Yeah.
Yes, you know what I mean?
Yes,
it's someone that keeps it real, because I mean, there's so many things out there right now that just like, it's like a broken record, and the record's been played way too many times. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. It's stagnant,
and that's
man.
what I think.
It's stagnant for sure. That's like people having real conversations with each other now is like a thing, which is great.
Yeah. And I think that's why, the podcasting is so big, why mine is going so good, because the bullshit's cut out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to cherry coat anything. I call a spade, and we have fun. I'm not trying to pretend something I'm not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And,
I actually just had Jim Shockey on the podcast, and
nicely done.
That's awesome.
When I was booking them, they're like, "Oh, do you have a list of questions for Jim?" And I was like, "No, man, I just want to talk to the guy." And they were like, "Oh no, we want a list of questions, yada yada." And then he came on, and like before we got started, I'm like, "Hey, can we just like, chat?" And like, I have a couple things that I want to ask you about, like, some today's day and age conservation questions. But other than that, I just want to like have the audience get to know you, like real life, And he was like, "Man, that's awesome."
Well, I think that's more interesting than him just asking questions and him answering them, right? It's the truth.
Like I asked him about his kid and stuff, and he was stoked. He was like, "Nobody asked about my kid. That's great." Not good. Eva, his son.
Yeah, me, I would have been all about Eva.
Oh man,
hey, that's the difference between me and you.
Yeah. So hey, when did you? So is the furthest place you've hunted from Colorado then BC?
Up north. I hunted in New Zealand.
Oh, nice.
I went red stag. I went hunt red stag and some sheep up there. But I would say I've hunted a lot of states here in the United States, but BC has definitely been, it was totally an experience. I mean, do I want to go back? Hell yes. Do I want to shoot one with my bow? Hell yes. Will I go back? Yes. Unless they make me get a COVID shot.
Yeah.
but yeah, honestly, here's the thing, man. I try to tell people, and like, this is the thing that me and my wife always kind of bump heads on. She's a planner. She's a, retirement junkie. And don't get me wrong, like, I'll be very thankful when I'm old and I got a retirement, this and that from her, because she does that. I'm a guy that I live for the moment. You know what I mean? Like I live because tomorrow's never promised, right? Do I want to be responsible and doing this and have shit for my kids? Yes. Don't get me wrong. I do. I want that. Right. But I also want to enjoy life now that I'm young. I can still move and do all this stuff. If I have an opportunity to go to BC and hunt bears and I can afford it, I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? Or if I have to cut back some certain things, I'm going to go do it. You know what I mean? Like that's how I think. My wife, not so much. She's a planner. She's always looking towards the future, which is nothing wrong with that because we get along so great, right? Because that's just the way she is. She knows the way I am. But I'm also the guy that if I get $5, I'm spending 10. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. You know what I mean? But yeah, I want to go everywhere. I want to hunt. I mean, Nestor just asked me to go to freaking Zimbabwe with him in Africa next month. And I'm like, bro, yeah, I love my family. I do not want a divorce. You know what I mean? Like, you got to give me more than a month's notice. You know what I mean? I can't leave for a month to go freaking to shoot animals in Africa. You know what I mean? As much as I would love to, I can't do that. You know?
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat, man. I wouldn't own a house or anything if it wasn't for my wife. I would have just a bunch of hot rods and that's it. You know? So. That's wicked. So
if it wasn't for my wife, I'd still be living underneath the boxing ring, probably.
There you go. So when did you get up here and hunt with Landers?
When did I go up there later? 2 years ago? Two years ago.
3 years this spring is when you were up. Yeah.
It'd be 3 years ago this spring. And when I went up there, I had no idea what to expect. I literally had no idea. I just literally knew he has bears and you get a lot of opportunities. And Frank was going to be there. Aaron was going to be there. And it was going to be a good time. Like my buddy Drew came down. So where we screwed up at, we flew into Seattle. And from Seattle, we rented a Suburban.
Oh, yeah, that's far.
And now it is. Now that I know that, yep. But we literally drove from Seattle to Bear Camp, and I would do that all over again. I would fly into the closest place to Landers Camp and enjoy myself. I would. Like literally, I would have a whole extra day of hunting if I didn't drive all the way from Seattle to Bear Camp. But yeah, that honestly, like, and we lucked out because you got a whole new house at Bear Camp now, huh, Lander?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You were the first ones in there.
Yeah, dude, it was.
You were the first group who stayed there.
Yeah, it was been the definitely same a 5-star place. And yeah, right. Well, Frank's room got a little violated, you know, but honestly, like it was such a nice place. Like it was like, holy cow, man, this is sweet. Like just everywhere where you can go out and shoot your bow out back. We made a little lifting area, right? We had a little CrossFit little gym there. It was cool, man. Like, to me, like, well, bear hunting is different, right? Like bear hunting, you only go out in the evening, right? So you get to sleep in, do what you got to do in the afternoon, and then you get ready to go bear hunt. You know what I mean? Like it's awesome. And Landers Camp is phenomenal. Like the food was awesome. The bear you cooked for us was awesome. I mean, it was cool, man. Like I tell everybody, I'm like, oh, you want to go bear hunting? Go to BC. Go see Lander. Seriously, everybody. Do I get a discount next time?
So Tyler, I need to kind of pump up Luke here because most people know I'm not. There's a lot of stuff on social media that I cannot stand, and I've gotten blocked by many people.
You and me both, brother.
Good and bad, and yeah, but. You know, when I saw Luke, you know, I met Aaron before, and Aaron and I I would say I'm a father figure because I'm only 10 years older than him. But him and I understand Aaron and whatever. So he told me he's bringing this group up. And so I started following Luke online. And I'm just like, holy cow, this dude is wired up. And so I wasn't really sure what to expect because, I mean, Luke's pretty vocal and opinionated. And usually if I have somebody who I think is a little bit on the rank side, I'll guide them because my guides are all different. But, I got to tell you, I mean, Luke loves just being out there. And he gets in my vehicle and he's putting freaking like GoPros everywhere. And I'm just looking at him like, what is going on? What is your deal? And I mean, honestly, the whole time, not that I had a prejudgment of him, but the way you see him on his podcast and other stuff is how he is, but he's also very much into the hunt. I mean, he loves every aspect of it. And it was really cool
it's awesome
to have a different perspective of this guy. He's a tough guy. And if you mess with him, he'll pound you. He's scared of grizzly bears.
I am scared of grizzly bears.
He won't probably ever ride an e-bike with me again.
Never.
He's one guy who could probably, him and his buddy Drew could probably take a grizzly if they needed to. And
I don't want to do that.
But no, he's legit and he's not full of BS like a lot of the people that you see out there trying to promote. He'll laugh at himself. He'll bet and just get his butt kicked betting against guys like Aaron. But that's why I think that his podcast is so much different than anything that's out there. Mostly when his vocal cords start going numb on a Friday, Saturday night when he's drinking, I just sit there and laugh because, and to be honest, he only drank one night in my camp and I saw it and I could see it was kind of, I could see he was getting buzzed and I'm like, okay, this is not the time to fire shots at this guy. And I made sure to sit on the opposite side of the table because I would just be looking at him and I'd just have this smirk and then he'd laser lock on me. Like, what are you laughing at, Lander? I'm just enjoying your stories, Luke. Because I watched Frank's arms get twisted so far behind his back. I saw him put him in a sleeper and put him out. I saw him absolutely beat his ass with kindling from the fireplace. And Frank just needled him.
Yeah, that was funny, right?
Oh, dude, that was hilarious. And I don't know why he kept doing it.
Yeah, that's Frank. Because he knows I'll punish him, but not hurt him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's like a little brother who just screams. He'll just needle you until you attack him, and then he sits there and screams. And, that was a good week. And you got some good bears, man. That was fun.
Well, I honestly, Landon, I appreciate that because it is true because I really do like having fun doing what I do. And I just like life. I really enjoy life. It's fun. Here's the thing. When it's my time to go, I want people to know that I live life. You know what I mean? Like I did the best I could. You know what I mean? I lived it. I did this. Is that the wife?
Mm-hmm. What's that? That's my dog. Oh, Atlanta.
It's a dog. Later. Okay.
She's
tell her I said hi anyways. Oh, even better. So yeah. Tell her I said hi. Make sure.
Hey. Hey, y'all.
Hey, she hear that? She said, hey.
She said, hey to me. Hey, y'all.
She said, hey. But yeah, so honestly, I love living. And like I said, man, I live for the moment I do it. I mean, I don't know. I'm a gambler and I love to gamble and I love to live, whether I'm hunting or whatever. I love hunting. Don't get me wrong. And I love bow hunting. And I think that's what I like about it is the gamble of, God damn, can I get in close enough to get this animal or can I get this shot? Blah, blah. And even shooting against Aaron, everybody sees we're about to start that shit up this year, shooting against Aaron, do I lose money shooting against Aaron? Yes. But what everybody else doesn't realize, Aaron is the only guy that motivates me to shoot 3D targets with him. Like I'll go out. I got a whole range in my backyard. I'll shoot targets and I like it. Don't get me wrong. I'll shoot. But Aaron is the only fucking guy that motivates me to shoot fucking like consistent, make me want to be better than him. You know what I mean? Like he is like, and that's why I had it in fighting was if I ain't going to be the best, why am I doing this? Right. Like if I ain't going to fight the best guy in my division, why would I do it? You know what I mean? And I think, with Aaron having him so close to me and, we can go out shooting and have competitions. If I can't, my shooting has gone a lot way better than when I first started, right? Because of him, obviously, him helping me and giving me, tools to help myself in shooting. But I'm telling you, having competitions with him helped me out tremendous. So each year I try to fucking get better each time. Every time I go out there, will I lose? Yeah, I do. I fucking lose when he's still shooting a fucking recurve, right? But that fucker's good though. You know what I mean? He is good. I don't care what anybody says. That guy is good. And when he says he's shooting and when he posts it on the IG and everybody says, oh yeah, he's shooting this and that and he shoots every day. Yeah, he's shooting a lot more than what he posts. You know what I mean? He's always doing it. You know what I mean? I can't tell you how many times I've been at his house or he's came down here to shoot with me and nobody ever knows. Nobody knows. Like we get done shooting American Bowman. We shoot, 20 targets, 40 targets. I swear to God, 2 hours later, he hits me up. You want to shoot? No, dude. I'm not trying to get some punani, dog. I'm trying to get in with the old lady. You know what I mean? I'm like, I know why you've been divorced so many times now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I'm not trying to follow that footsteps.
Yeah. That's the thing about,
I can't. He does it. He shoots all the time. He is a Jedi. He's a Jedi.
That's one of the things about hunting and archery though, man. It's such a moving target and like you have to be such a student of the game and keep at it. Like hanging out with Wasteelander, I'm like deep down the stick bow rabbit hole. And I picked up my compound for the first time in like, I don't know, 8 months or something. And I'm like, oh shit, I forgot how to do this. Like I'm way out of practice now. And we have that goat hunt coming up here. So I got to get that compound going again. And no, it's hunting and archery, man. It's such a moving target to stay proficient in. Guys like Snyder that are working at it full time like that. That's why they're so good. That's why that guy's like killing everything under the sun, right?
He misses
He's
too,
out
though.
there a lot though. No, and that's what I think I like about him though, right?
Yeah.
Like he does. And that's one thing I told him about him. Like the first time I we talked about things and I said, dude, I like it when you say you miss. You know what I mean? Like it's the truth because
you're human.
Everybody sees like the shit. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like everybody sees like what they see on Instagram, another dead animal, grip and grin. But realistically, he says, fuck, I look at my quiver. It's fucking gone. You know what I mean? Like that's what I respect him probably the most about it because I can relate to that. I miss a lot, not that he misses a lot. I do.
So before this turns into Luke's Aaron Snyder love ballad completely,
oh no, he's a bitch.
What's next for you? What's the big hunt this year?
Oh man, you know what? You know what's crazy is I'm literally I may go to Idaho and do spring bear in June, right?
Oh, cool.
Which it might happen. I hope it does happen. I don't know yet.
Are you gonna go with Avery?
I didn't. No, you know what? I thought about that. Have you done anything with Avery?
No, I just know him. I like the guy because he's like me. He likes to go.
I like him too.
Yeah. No, I haven't.
I met him a few times at trade shows and we bullshit, Well, like the first time I met Avery, he was all like, dude, I love it when you talk shit to Snyder. Yeah. And I was like, oh, cool. Well, I didn't realize like how him and Snyder were like, they're close too. And, the whole rock slide deal. And I was like, oh shit. And then Snyder told me about all this stuff about, Avery. And I was like, oh shit, this guy really does know you. And either way, like I have nothing but respect for the guy. Like I like how he comes out and be on Instagram and all that. Like, so I definitely want to go hunt with him. I think bear camp would be fun with him. I was talking to the Cryptech guys and they told me to come on out. So I'm going to see. It's over bait, you know what I mean? And so we'll see. I don't know. I told them that I want to shoot with my bow, but they were like, you maybe need to bring a rifle. And I was like, fuck. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get me wrong. I have fun shooting a rifle. I really do. I like being in close. Mm-hmm. And archery is so I don't know. If they tell me to bring the rifle instead of my bow, that might be the game changer of me going. Honestly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's big bears in Idaho. Good bear hunting.
I know, right? Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've shot spring bear out there already on the Hell's Canyon down there. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I want to shoot. I want to shoot one with my bow. You know what I mean? Like I've shot 4 bears down with all rifles, no bows. So that's definitely a bucket list. Like I really want to be up close. Which the first time I bear hunted in Idaho, I literally brought my bow 4 days to sites on the ground, right? And the last day they're like, dude, take the gun. And I was like, all right, cool. Never got a shot, never got an animal or a bear coming in sight. So the first time I get a bear coming on bait and I'm 100 yards back, right? I'm shaking like a queer at a hot dog factory, dude. I like now that I think about it, I'm like, there's no way I could have drew my bow back at 25 yards. You know what I mean? Like, no way in hell. I would have fucking froze. I would have screamed probably,
Lander, what's
no way in hell.
Lander, what's the closest you killed a bear?
Last year it was 7 yards.
Yeah, my last was 9
yards. Yours was 9 yards.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude! Just on the ground, you snuck up that fucking close to him.
Mine was like crossing in front of me. I knew where he was going to cross, so I met him there.
Oh my God! Holy shit! 7 and 9 yards. Yeah, dude. There's no way in hell because the bear would have smelled my shit, dude. Because I would have shit my pants.
Yeah.
No way.
Well, Luke, there was a cinnamon that we've been seeing that's probably 7.5 foot. He's huge. And I shot 2 the year before, so I wasn't going to shoot one last year. But I saw the cinnamon and I was with a buddy of mine. And so it was my turn. He stalked everything. And I moved in on it and ends up, I just saw pieces of it, but it was a sow. And when I got over to where I could see her at about 15 yards, the boar was behind her. The boar saw me, didn't know what I was, charged up, got good visual of me at about 10 yards and then cut left and stopped at 7. And then I shot him, but it happened so fast. I didn't know what was going to happen.
Oh my God.
No time to get scared.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
let me ask you this. So that's your closest shot, 7 yards?
Yeah, pretty close. It happened so fast, but I got him rugged. Actually, he was 6'10" and something. He was a big bear. I didn't even know he was there. I just saw the
was that gun or stick bow?
Stick bow.
Nice.
Yeah. But my issue now is I'm struggling with there's going to be 50 extra boars kicking around my area that we usually kill. I'm going to go up there. Luke, we're adding on a room on the back of the house, kind of a master bedroom for Lana and I, with a kind of an ensuite bathroom for her, because that one big bathroom is kind of a pain if there's a lot of guys. So that's halfway done. So I'm going to go up there and do that, but I'm going to go on hunt. But my issue is, where you go shoot a deer and you take the meat, discard the hide. I do anyways. Yeah. With a bear, you can't really do that. I love bear meat. It's probably my favorite, right up there anyway. Mostly spring bear in DC is really good. But, how many, that's the hides, you just can't throw hides away and, or shoot them as a meat animal. I kind of struggle with that as being a meat animal for me, because they're so stunning. Right. But, there's going to be a lot of them, man. There's going to be, in fact, I'm worried for the moose at this point. Yeah. Like the moose calves are going to be hit hard. This is really going to affect, I think.
So, what do you think? So can Americans go and hunt yet with you?
No.
Next year this year's done.
This year's done. The first couple of years is going to be insane for anyone up here. Anyone who's doing anything, like if you're planning on booking a Dall sheep hunt up north, do it. Yeah. Not that you are, because it's $50,000 or $35,000, whatever it is. But there's going to be some serious animals running around on all these areas that haven't been hunted for 2 years. It's going to be mostly bears. It's going to be, I'm not going to say dangerous, but
bears are going to be big. Phenomenal.
Ladder, did you see that stat that came out after this past fall on stones? They were saying that all of the stones harvest was in like the first 2 days, and it was all residents.
I believe it. Yeah.
It was like World War III up there. Yeah. Just wild, man. Because I guess everybody was just shooting their shot. All the local guys are like, there was no guiding competition, right?
And a lot of it was closed down because the Teltan tribe up there had a lot of, like, the Stikine River was shut down. The boat launch, a lot of the trucks got, their tires splashed, and I was up there. We went on that caribou hunt, and man, it was brutal. Like the attitude between the band and anyone else who was up there, it was really tense. So. Mm-hmm. That's going to be the same way this year. I think that there's going to be shut down again up there longer because they have more power. They don't go by the Canadian government. They're their own government, right? So I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what goes on with my goat hunt this year too.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Just make sure you're parked in a hire a local. From a nearby town, somebody who, or reach out on your social media for somebody who's up there where you can park your vehicle, they can drop you, and then they can pick you up. I would not leave your vehicle anywhere up that isn't secure.
Yeah. Huh. I hadn't thought of that.
That's Landers for you, looking after you.
Well, when you're 20 hours north of home and you don't want to be hitchhiking.
No, that's for sure. Sure. Yeah. That's awesome, man. Well, Luke, what's on the go this fall then? Is there something you got your eye on?
Man, I honestly, I'm going to kill big elk, obviously. Nice. That's what I do.
That's the bourbon. That's the bourbon
coming out. No, I got some things in the works. I got my first lease in Nebraska, right? Nice. So I mean, I got a lot of things. I'm gonna go for big whitetail this year. I love whitetail hunting. Obviously, I grew up whitetail hunting. I got a new a new sponsor called Viking Armament. They got, the ones that work with Caparo. You guys remember the day where I took Aaron out and he shot his deer with a rifle?
Yep.
Couldn't have done it without you.
And then I shot one with, no, he would never have gotten it without me, ever.
Definitely
just
not.
like the goat, just like his goat. Without me, never would have got it.
You wouldn't even have made it in there. You wouldn't even have made it in there.
Never. So,
gear.
yeah, what's so funny about that later? There's so many guys that actually believe I'm a fucking guide.
Let them believe it.
And they're like guys hit me up on that Facebook. They're like, hey, what's your rates? Blah, blah. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm $100 an hour. And they're like, an hour? I'm like, yeah. And I'm thinking like pad work. You know what I mean? Like hitting mitts and, working them out and fighting. And they're like, no, I'm talking about if I want to get a mule deer. And I'm like, no, dude, I am not a guide. I'm not a guide. We're like, no. Everybody says you guided Aaron.
That's awesome.
No, dude. Never, dude. That was a joke. I was like, no, I would not guide that guy. And but goals this year, man. If I got a tag, I would just like to fill at least, 2 or 3 of them. Yeah, would be ideal. I'm gonna take my rifle out this year. Like I said, I got a new company building me a new gun right now, and I'm gonna use that on a few things. But yeah, man, I'm a bow hunter, and if it means me eating tag soup again, well, guess what? I'm okay with it because I love sitting in a tree stand, dude. I really do. I love it. I love seeing animals come by me. If I'm in a box blind, I don't care what it is. That's one thing I will say, and I'll admit it, man. When it gets cold here in Colorado, Nebraska, whenever I'm hunting, I say fuck tree stands, and I'm going in the box blind with the Mr. Buddy heater because I hate being cold, man. It's miserable. Hunting is not fun anymore. When you're if I'm out moving and like hiking and like spot stalking, sitting in a truck for a while and then getting out and moving, I'm cool with that. I don't care what the windshield is or whatever. But if I'm just sitting and waiting like whitetail hunting, when it comes November time, I better be in a box blind because I want a heater.
Nice.
Because I'm over it, man. I'm over the cold. I can't. I hate being cold.
Speaking of cold, Lander, are you booked up this fall in Alberta, or can you guide there right now?
I am booked up for mule deer, but we'll see what happens.
Right
see
on.
what happens if it opens, but it better open. I mean, that'll be brutal if it's not open again. Same for my moose. But,
it's like 2 years in a row. Then it'll be the second year, huh?
Second year for bear, and potentially second year for the fall. So that would
because wasn't Riza and her man supposed to go out there and hunt?
Yeah, I think Leopold's still coming because she's not with them anymore. I'm hoping she comes with them. She's talking about it, but yeah, I'd enjoy having her. I was supposed to have her and Amy together.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Oh, really? Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah,
but
that'd be fun.
I don't know.
I think her son, don't quote me on this, but the last time I talked to him, before she moved to Rocky Mountain, the Elk Foundation, her son might be coming to college in Colorado. So they'll be out here quite a bit, visiting. Cool. And, she's coming out on the podcast. So it'll be fun. You know what I mean? Like, she's awesome. She's awesome. She literally left and I was like, oh, I'm screwed. Right. Like, I thought my Leopold connection was done. No, dude, she took care of me. She got me in line with everybody, and they still take care of me.
Good.
Like it was her, you know what I mean?
Awesome.
Like I can't say enough about the company, honestly.
That's cool.
Cool. Well, boys, that was fun.
Yeah.
I think we covered the bases.
This has been fun, dude. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, man. Thanks for coming on.
When it comes down, now here's what you got to know. When it comes down to it, right? When it comes down to it, when Landers says, "Hey, it's time to go hunt," it's time to go hunt, right? When Landers making his mountain ops protein shakes and that's when you just hang out, right? Like you're just hanging out, doing some CrossFit.
You're hammering. You just got to keep hammering.
When it's time to gear up, he'll tell you. Yeah, but here's what's crazy about Lander, right? Here's what's crazy about Lander. He literally does some crazy wads. What do you call those? Wads, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, workout of the day. So, but he gets after it, and I honestly, it's cool. The one thing I will say about Landers is that guy got more balls than brains. They come from 1,000 some yards away, right? Like he was far from the timber, and this grizzly comes, I don't know, probably like 200-300 yards away, and he's starting to get a little closer, and I started getting closer to the truck, right? And when this big ass grizzly bear comes out about 100 yards from the truck, Lander decides to get out of the truck with his iPhone. And he's like, I'm gonna go get pictures and video of this thing with no gun. No, this is a guy that's supposed to have a gun with him, right? Protect us. He and Frank go, what's he doing? He don't even have a gun. And he walks up to this little tree claim area where the bear's probably, I don't know, 50, 75 yards from him. And I know, like I said, he works out a lot, but I know he ain't no track star, and he ain't getting the truck fast enough if that bear comes after him. And I know damn well I ain't going to go screaming and saving Lander's ass. I'm going to take the keys and I'm going the opposite way.
Yeah.
Bye, Felicia.
Yeah, that was
crazy.
That wasn't probably too smart, but yeah, he was beautiful. He was big. He's still there too. Every year.
Is he really?
Oh yeah. Yeah. He'll be there again. He's probably there right now. He's a
monster, dude.
Yeah, he is.
He's a monster.
Yeah.
They talk about opening grizzly back up in Canada?
Not anytime soon.
Yeah.
We got to have another election. We got to get a different crew in here than what we have.
Yeah. Different Supreme Leader.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? So how long do those bears live? That's what I want to know.
Grizzlies will live into their 20s for sure. Yeah.
So how old do you think that bear is? The one that I seen with you?
He's probably, he's over 10 for sure. I think he's probably 10 to 12, something like that. He's still,
okay.
He's still, I mean, he's a 7.5 foot grizzly. I mean, he's bigger than that probably, but yeah, he's up there.
He was huge, dude.
The one that haunts the streams.
Yeah. Because you guys rode up on the bike, didn't you? With Baby Gap, right?
Yeah. And you don't ever want to do that ever. No.
You did everything wrong.
Never.
You got out of there as fast as you can. It's like, yeah. Anyway, luckily it was a solo bear. One didn't have cubs because it would have been different. But you just got to be. Well, here's the key: if you ever ride with me, you got to be the second guy. You got to be right behind me because the third guy is going to be the one that gets smoked. I won't be because I'm in front. I'll startle him.
Here's the thing. Dude, I am literally throwing my bow and my arrows in your spokes. You're going to be the last. I literally, when I saw that grizzly with you later, I literally said, holy shit, dude. These things are huge. Like I see black bear in my backyard. I seen one tonight. I seen a black bear tonight. This is the second one I've seen since I've been out, in the springtime. My daughter and my wife, we come in my shop in the podcast studio and we hang out, we have some drinks, whatever. And my wife put my son to bed, right? And literally she went out there and I said, well, Eva, I think let's go inside and get ready for bed. She's like, oh, Dad, do I have to? The whole thing. So I open the door and I look outside to go piss, right? And she's all like, what is that? I'm like, get inside. And I'm like, Dad. She's like, is that a bear? And I'm like, yeah, get inside. I literally came inside. I grabbed a shovel and she's like, oh no, Dad, you're going to need something bigger than that. I went outside and she's all like, no, Dad, don't even go out there. And I was just thinking of my wife coming back out here to hang out with us after she put Marks to bed, right? So I was like, I better scare this bear away. Well, I went out there. And this bear, I took my shirt off, and the bear ran.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he took off. So I didn't have to use a shovel or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, man.
But yeah, dude, it was crazy. Yeah. Black bears are one thing. Grizzlies are another. I'm a little bitch when it comes to black grizzlies.
I agree.
Yeah.
Guys, hey,
cool.
Thank you guys for fucking having me on here. Really, I appreciate it. And Landry, this was a treat, dude, honestly.
Yeah, we haven't hung out in a while, man.
I know. I'm now this year we ain't gonna do it again.
Yeah. I'm supposed to get down there and see. I'm supposed to come down and hang out with Clum for a little bit at some point.
Are you really?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
So
I'm getting him on the podcast. Are you?
Yeah. So if I get down there, we'll for sure come and hang out and fire shots at Schneider,
Yeah, for sure. That'd be great. That would be awesome. I'm telling you, man, that guy's he's a fucking Jedi too, man. El Club. He's something special.
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
He is crazy. He's crazy. I'm gonna get him and his son out here on the podcast. He's even gonna have some beers with me.
Oh, really?
Right on.
Wow. Cool, man.
Yeah. So I said, okay. Yeah.
Right on, guys. Thanks, Luke. That was wicked. Appreciate it, man. Hey, actually, where can everybody find you?
Yeah, man. Me?
Yes, sir.
Shit. Usually on any bathroom stall, trucker stop sign, whatever. But
I'll put his phone number in the show notes.
Yeah. But honestly, man, you guys can find me on the IG, Facebook, Gladiators Unleashed, GU Unfiltered. Man, I'm honestly, this has been fun, man. And I will definitely tell people to listen to your podcast because we can relate to your podcast, to my podcast.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the podcast, please subscribe and leave us a review. If you want to support the podcast, please check out the gear on our website at www.wildernesslocals.net.